Love, Fear, and Failure is a song about taking away every bit of facade. For so much of what I do, I'm guilty of wearing a mask. Behind this mask hides all my real problems, and this is really what love, fear, and failure is all about. In If... there's a line that says, the events you see on stage are only a fraction of what goes on behind the curtain. And the whole album, while being as honest as possible, had to be wrapped together with this pretty little bow to create that story of being lost, then found. While this is true to what happened, this isn't where any of the story stopped, and it never stops with a completely happy ending. Like we mentioned in our Life That I've Lost video, we'll always have these peaks and valleys in our lives. On the Day I Learned to Love describes this beautiful mountaintop experience where I rediscovered God's love for me. But finding God doesn't always solve every single one of our problems. It may make the hard times easier, but I still have some very human tendencies that need to be worked on. So in Love, Fear, and Failure, I dive deep into what those are and why I struggle on a daily basis to better myself.
Addiction and affliction are cause and effect, and I'm afflicted by an addiction to my own pain.
This line was very true for me when coming out of that dark time in my life. After developing a habit of running away from anything that may blossom into real, deep conversations with people about life, I found myself trying to just escape everything altogether by detaching from crowds. This detachment, though, led to very real backsliding in my progress. See, it's very easy to resort to past addictions and continue revisiting past mistakes when you're purposefully allowing yourself to suffer all by yourself. The second verse begins by talking about having heretical thoughts, this very anti-God, anti-belief sense of realism. Even after having found my way back to God, I found myself wanting to escape again for fear that I might feel convicted after continuing to make the same mistakes. It goes on to say, spirituality and sin are two sides of a fence, but most sit in the middle, wanting both to make sense. But I feel that I'm running from side to side. Each time that I cross, there's something else to hide. I'm aware of the tripwire between wrong and right, but still I let life play me as the wind plays a kite. This tripwire represents wearing more and more at the seams after every visit back to the side of the fence that I had claimed to escape from. I obviously wrote this song about my own predicament, but the picture I wanted to paint is that of a person left unchecked after making a miraculous recovery. Too often do we help someone out of a pit in their lives, whether that's spiritual or in a battle of health or in mourning or in overcoming addiction, but we stop helping them the minute they begin to show signs of healing, even if not all the way recovered. This is dangerous because it leaves the healing person to their own vices. If we stay with each other in community and continue to try and push each other forward, then we leave these people to fall from the peaks back into the valleys of life. So the guitar solo at the end of the album represents that downward spiral back into brokenness. We hope that this can serve not as discouragement, but as an encouragement to be aware of those around us so that when we see others falling, we may be able to help them back up.
To me, this song is what validates the struggles we hold on to deep inside, no matter how we portray ourselves. This vulnerable analysis of an angry and exhausted character is incredibly powerful to me, as this is probably the most realistic takeaway from the album. It can be discouraging when everyone else around you seems to be getting better, but you still feel stuck in what's hurting you. The intention behind this song was for anyone who is trapped in depression, anxiety, addiction, or anything that they might wrestle with to feel that they are not alone in the loneliness that comes with not making progress towards a better life. If sharing our experiences has helped or comforted anyone, we are incredibly grateful. We are very passionate about having all of these real, authentic conversations about what we all think we go through, and we feel it is important to continue bringing these things to light. Thank you so much for listening to our stories and for joining us on this series.